this is John for MTG Nexus, coming at you with another donation deck list from Foz. That's right, playing a little bit more Legacy. This is a pile of Legacy cards. I have no idea what it does. Moving on to the... No. In reality, this is a mono blue artifact deck that is trying to abuse a lot of the synergies that we've seen in Modern before they got banned, followed up by some other nonsense that is only really available in Legacy. So basically this is a Mox Opal, Emery Psy, all that nonsense deck that got banned when Mox Opal got banned in Modern. Leveraged with a little bit more cheap 0/1 drops, or 0 artifacts here, and then bolstered by the soul lands in Legacy. Ancient Tomb and City of Traders. Also boosted by the fact that Seat of the Synod is also not banned in this format. Basically, you're trying to play a very quick broken thing, whether that be an Urza Lord High Artificer, a Karn the Great Creator and downticking for something, a Narset. So why is Narset in this deck? Seems a little weird in a deck that's full of artifacts and stuff, right? To that end, you play Echo of Aeons. So the thing with Narset is Narset plus Lion's Eye Diamond plus Echo of Aeons equals you draw a fresh hand, your opponent draws one card. So how that works is Lion's Eye Diamond can only be activated by discarding your hand. Normally this isn't great. But the decks that use Lion's Eye Diamond have ways to break those synergies. Our way of breaking that synergy is Echo of Aeons. And then beyond that, you also have Chalice of the Void on 1 or 0, which is often pretty effective, especially 1 with your Ancient Tombs and your City of Traders. You have some fast mana in the form of Lotus Petal as well as Mox Opal. You have Urza's Bauble, which is basically Mistress Bauble, only better. You get to look at a random card in your opponent's hand, and you get the card immediate, or you draw the card during your next turn's upkeep. Not sure which is better, that one, Mistress Bauble or Urza's Bauble there. Psy, obviously you get a bunch of Thopters the more artifacts you play after Psy, and then Urza really needs no introduction. So in the main deck, you're just trying to be a very powerful Chalice of the Void, get as much powerful draw as you can. We'll get into an aggressive, powerful draw, whether it be turn 1 Emery, turn 1 or 2 Urza, turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Karn. You're just trying to be this powerful artifact-based deck with a little bit of disruption in the form of like Chalice, and then the Narset Echo of Aeon's Torn. And obviously Narset disrupts things like Brainstorm and Ponder out of a lot of decks. Sideboard really isn't a whole lot in the sideboard. You basically have the Karn Wish package and then 4 Force of Will. Force of Will is there obviously against the unfair decks, decks that you might need to fight over, a key spell, something like Charbelcher, Reanimator, etc., where maybe your primary game plan isn't good enough. You can always bring in Force of Will, try to buy yourself a turn or two to get set up what you're doing. And the only other card that you probably ever bring in is probably Walking Ballista, just to help deal with creatures like Delvers and stuff. You might bring in like 1 or 2 copies of Walking Ballista. And that's to some extent of what I know about this deck. Once again, I'm not usually a Legacy player. We play a little bit of Legacy here on the channel here and there, mostly donation deck lists from Foz. But I have seen this deck in action once or twice, and so interested to give it a go and see how it goes. Here for match number 1. Play, which is nice in a format like Legacy. Let's see what our opening hand is. Is turn 1 Emery good enough? Huh. Maybe? We'll try it. Seems silly to ask if turn 1 Emery is good enough, but, in this format it's certainly possible it's just flat out not good enough. Okay, so maybe some type of Delver strategy. It does open us up a bit to Wasteland, but I think that's a sacrifice I have to be willing to make. Narset would be a good rip next turn. Next turn could be really disgusting if we untap with Emery. I don't know quite what we'd get yet, but next turn is going to involve tapping Emery, getting Lion's Eye Diamond. Yeah, sure, Delver. Delver's kind of annoying, but doesn't really change what we're doing. Got up there, friend. Play Karn. Crack this for blues. Cast Echo of Aeons. Cast this Lotus Petal. Cast this Mox Opal. Keeping this Mox Opal. Tapping it for mana. Gonna play Chalice on one here. Yep. Nope. Don't want to pay. Well, I'd like to pay, I just can't, so such is life. It's gonna brainstorm in response here. Sure. Question is, where do you point your bolt at? Not so easy, is it, friend? Okay. Two, three, four, five, six. presume I just get... Guess I could also get engineered explosives here to be a little bit better. Playing with all the force of wills. So 1/1. Top card of the library. Brainstorm. Yep, we have a 3/3. Oh no, they just exchange control with it. Cool. Guess we'll wait to see what we draw next turn, but pretty sure we're just dead here. Forgot how stupidly broken a card Oko can be. It's now actually got a decision. Is 3 damage worth losing their Oko? Alright, well, we at least tried, right? Deck's interesting, if nothing else. Really bring in like 2 of those. I don't even know which go down here. Maybe 1 Echo of Aeons. Like they don't seem to be a deck you really want to be giving second shots to. Okie dokie. Should be interesting to see exactly how ready our opponent is for like enchantments and artifacts. We played Enchantress the other day. Opponent had Cindervines in their board, which I was a little surprised at, but then again, it seems like a pretty decent card against Storm and such, so that's a card that could certainly get them out of like a Mycosynth. Well, I don't know about Mycosynth the last lock, but could get them out of a Ensnaring Bridge lock or something along those lines. So this deck is very powerful, but it is, I think, basically a combo deck at its heart, combo prison deck. So might be hard to fight through the Force of Will, Daze, Pressure deck sometimes. Sure that we are not disconnected. We are not. Okay. Now, see the timer ticking down that much. I'm like, well, did we disconnect? But no. Just looks like we are. Opponent's not quite sure how to sideboard against what they saw out of us. Let's play first. What's this hand do? This hand has a quick chalice on one. Is that good enough? I think against Delver, the answer is yes, so we're going to keep. Do you have Force of Will? You do not. Okay. Plays around Daze. Sure. With our bolts shut off, I'm more than willing to just play this out into the situation we're in. Next turn we can even play Urza while playing around soft counter. So I think I'm liking the position we're in this game. So far, anyway. Now, City of Traders, play Urza. Grab an LED, play out the LED, because why not? Tarmogoyf for something here. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Sure. One, two, three, four, five, six, and still play around Daze potentially. Keeping this one. This is a 3/3. cash in the ballista just yet. We're going to 12 here. Feels like you missed tap for a no-go, friend. Probably have to animate the chalice. Okay, sure. Figured their priority would be to animate the chalice, but it's not, so, you know, things and stuff for 100 Alex. Alright, and our opponent scoops. Alright. Don't know that we can beat Delver every time like that, but it certainly helps. This deck's insane. Like, I don't know if it's good, but the things it's doing is just like, yep. Get to combine all the brokenness of all the Urza decks from standard while also, not standard, from modern, while also having the soul lands and even more 0-mana artifacts that make sense. So I suspect the deck's a little inconsistent, but seems really powerful when it gets to do its thing. And even has the blue card count to play Force of Will against the other broken unfair decks. Let's see what our hand looks like on turn 1. So what does this hand do? Can play a really fast Narset. Don't really think that does a whole lot in this matchup. I think we have to look in this hand. This hand likewise doesn't seem to do much in the matchup. 2, 3. What are we more likely to hit that matters here? I don't even know what we're hoping to spike here. Yeah, like fast Narset's good against a cantrippy hand, but if they have like any type of pressure, Delver, Arcanist, any of that, it's just really bad. So that's why I didn't keep those first 2 hands. Maybe going down to 5 was just foolish in this matchup, but it felt like we really wanted a Chalice on one hand, or you know, like a fast Karn into like Bridge or something. So, but this hand, as a result, is just kind of wonky. Yep, fast Delver. I'll play out the island first, just because I really don't want to play into what am I doing? I can just bobble on their end step, because the Delver will probably reveal whatever they draw. Hitting bolt, sure. Wasteland, a bit problematic, but can play around it to a certain degree. Yeah, not too good for the home team. This is like our only piece of action, so if it gets countered, we're in a lot of trouble. Sure. Alright. I mean, that's the risk we had to take here, so, you know. Yeah, we weren't. It was going to wasteland that, and the rest of our hand was just kind of non-functional. It's kind of the risk when you go to 5. Maybe I should have kept the nurse at hand, but I don't feel like either of those hands did enough in the matchup to warrant keeping. Like, on the blind, you could arguably keep those hands. You know, fast Narset's probably decent in some matchups, so, you know, keeping cantrips and stuff going from happening. But in a Delver matchup, that just didn't feel good. So, on to the next match. Yeah, we're back for match number 2. We're against Holy Limbo. Limbo, limbo, lim. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jump over the candlestick. Well, this is a weird hand. So I can go turn 1, Chalice on 1, double LED, Echo of Aeons, float 3 blue mana, and see what happens. Okay. Don't know what's going to happen with this hand. Chalice on 1. Do that. That was a turn. Some draws are. I think so. What does this hand do? Is turn 2 Narset or Psy good enough? I guess. We really don't know what we're up against, so I mean this hand's functional, so I'm gonna keep it. Bloodstained Mire and pass. So burn maybe? I think we hold Bobble because I think we're planning on sighing next turn potentially. Really no danger. I guess I should have played Basic Island there just in case they're a Wasteland deck. Seems more likely that they're burn though, so. Maybe Reanimator? I have no idea what's going on over there. 4 colors, things and stuff. Oh, so there's some type of storm deck most likely. So I probably want to do this, do this, probably play Narset. Play that out, play that out. There are some style of storm deck. Could very well be dead here. Yep. The Karn's pretty good in the matchup. Yep. Okay, Burning Wish grabs what? Chalice on 0 is pretty decent. Chalice on 1 might be okay. Obviously, turn 1 Karn was awesome. But. Oops. Alright. Well, that's one way to get a match win, I suppose. Back 4, match number 3 with mono blue things and stuff. So one, two. I think this is a turn 2 Narset go nuts hand. I think we keep it, just play the basic island and pass. Hope it's good enough. Once upon a time. Once upon a time. So probably Eldrazi. Veteran Explorer. Okay. Okay. Mad respect, OP. Mad respect. Narset. Cricket for triple blue. We pass. We do a Narset things in a Narset place. Got over there. Okay. Karn the Great Creator. Do I want to activate Narset? Nah. Let's do it again, shall we? Okay. I screwed up the order of operations there. Play a bobble, trigger that. Alright. That's conceded. Okay. I feel bad now. Nah. Okay. So our opponent is a Veteran Explorer deck, likely things like Cabal Therapy and such to sack the Veteran Explorer. Drone Explorer is mostly played in Commander. It's not even like played much in Legacy anymore. Alright, so what does this hand do? Doesn't even do much. We're like one artifact away from a turn 2 Narset. One artifact away from a turn 2 Urza. Do I keep this hand? I don't think so. One, two. I think we keep this hand. The question is, what are we pitching? Probably the LED, I think. Yeah, so pitch LED. Sure. Synod, Bobble. That. Actually, I didn't need to put the Bobble there. Oh well. Here, well, because this would be enough to activate Metalcraft to allow me to cast Psi next turn, so. City of Traders. I think we'll just play City next turn. We'll just play Psi this turn. Cast Psi, cast Bobble. Trigger that. It's fetching during their upkeep. Okay. They could take Urza away here if they happen to have Cabal Therapy. Okay, sure. Land or a creature. Curious what they grab here. Plague Engineer, maybe? Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. That's pretty ambitious. Emery would be good, but obviously with the ley line it's not so good. Mishra's Bobble, or Urza, I mean. Do I just play Emery anyway? I guess. Let's get out of my hand. See what we mill. Narset, seat, Emery. Okay. All right. Is there anything in our deck that would enable us to deal with that? Hmm. I guess if we spike... hmm. All right. So we got Eureka. Suppose that means we can bring in Force of Will over Chalice. Chalice doesn't seem particularly good against what they're doing. I mean, it could potentially hit like Veteran Explorer and Cabal Therapy, but takes like a turn 2 Psi or a turn 3 Karn. Just don't think that's quite good enough here. Turn 2 Narset seems fine. Put back the Mishra's Bubble, I guess. Yeah, put them with early lines. That's kind of whatever. Guess they have a Chalice on 0. Probably better an Explorer. Sure. So what are the odds that they have a... I think we just pass here. Don't think there's anything that we could Narset into that I particularly care about this turn. And I want to minimize the amount of stuff that can hit with a Cabal Therapy off of a... whatchamacallit? Veteran Explorer. Yes. Get my free islands. Okay, so we're going to want to find the Force of Will here. turn is also perfectly reasonable. Sure. Okay. Congratulations, you've activated my trap card. Alright, well. Sometimes your opponent's deck's doing crazier things than you are, so. C'est la vie. We're back with match number 4 with mono blue artifacts. Let's see how this one goes. So turn 1 Emery. Yeah, I guess hand's good enough. Echo of Aeons arguably being a mulligan, but if we hit a LED, can potentially turn it into something more. Chancellor of the Annex. So let that get countered. That's fine. Interesting. Get Lotus Petal that allows us to potentially Narset into a Chalice on one. Or I guess an LED would have been nice too. One of these things is not like the other. Really looking for a Karn here. Put out Chalice on one. Actually, we can do it. Play out Doctorist. Chalice, make a dude. Alright, and our opponent scoops. Nice. So game I thought we were in serious trouble. We were just able to kind of, yeah. I think we bring in the Force of Wills, but I don't know over what. And is it even worth trying to bring in Force against a deck with that many discard spells? And the question becomes over what do we bring it in over? Try it like that. Turn 2 Urza. If we don't have to pitch it to Force of Will, I guess it's good enough. probably have to take force here. Guess they could also potentially take Urza. Why has their Mox Opal in their Reanimator deck? Alright, Karn's not great, but it's not terrible, I suppose. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yep. Okay. Sure. Okay, so they're what? Tin Fins? That weird amalgamation deck that's like part Storm, part Reanimator. This Still don't think that necessarily changes how we sideboard. Select to play first. Would love a fast chalice. 1, 2. Yeah, his hand just doesn't do anything. We have like no relatively active blue mana, and even with Force of Will, it's just not good enough. I think this hand's something similar, just not good enough. Looks like we're going to 4. Looks like we're all going really, really low. Okay, I mean, for a 3-card hand, this is about as functional as we get, right? Okay. Yep. Dark Ritual. Alright. Emery and Force of Will. Okay. Sure. Bubble. Cast Bubble. Play Bubble. Discard in your hand. See another Dark Ritual. Okay. Enemy dead. Cool. So that's more. right. All right. Am I dead? Looting. Okay. Oh, wow. Nice. Wasn't expecting to win that one. All right, we're back for the fifth and final match with things in stuff.blue. 2, 3. This hand really doesn't do much, so I think it's a mulligan. This hand's equally kind of a clanker, so. Turn 1 chalice. Back a Narset. The bobble, I guess. Okay, so some type of reanimator as well. Oh no, dredge. So much worse for us. Not giving away any information here. So flat out dredge. Most of their looting effects are on 1, so Chalice on 1's pretty decent against them. Breakthrough obviously is their way to get around that. So think we bring in the forces. Stopping their initial treasure is just so important. Narset isn't particularly good against them, I don't think. Probably board out like one Narset. Karn's pretty good at finding the graveyard hate pieces. Echo of Aeons is like okay at resetting their graveyard. I still don't think that's kind of the game we're playing here. And then we go down a couple of the Mishra's Baubles. We really need a Chalice on 1 for this hand to be good. And I don't think this hand's good enough otherwise, so... So we have the Force of Will, but we don't have any blue card to pair with it. So I think this is also a mulligan. Alright, this hand's going to have to be good enough. I think we put back Urza and Bauble, I guess? No, we need something to pitch to the Force besides the Emery, so I guess we just put back the Island. Feels kind of crazy, but, you know, things and stuff. Things and stuff for 100, Alex. And we like do nothing that's like reasonable here. Alright. Hopefully they try to jam a discard spell, or not discard spell, don't try to go for natural dredge. Sure. Breakthrough is going to be pretty rough next turn. Yeah, if we had a Lion's Eye Diamond to go with that, it might be good, but alas, we don't, so... Problem is, even if we find a Force of Will, they can just... Yep. That's just game. Let's be realistic. They get to flashback Cabal therapy multiple times, get a bunch of zombies from the bridge from belows, and yeah. Alright, be back in a sec with the wrap up. So quick wrap up with this deck. I think I've kind of alluded to at points. I think this deck is very explosive, but also very clunky, and probably doesn't mulligan all that particularly well. I mean, obviously we did have some hands where we mulliganed to 3 and 1. We had some really explosive like reset ups. And the deck, once it gets going, obviously absurdly powerful. This is a huge snowball deck. A lot of matchups come down to, can you land a Chalice on one, or can you force their key spell? And the blue card count in this deck is quite low, so always having the second card for Force of Will isn't very high. And it's very much a synergy deck. Like Emery, obviously very good in some spots. Narset can be either very good or very bad. Even Narset with Echo of Aeons is quite nice. Obviously that setup, but that's kind of like a 3-card combo of Narset, Echo of Aeons, LED. So a lot of stuff goes on with this deck and has a lot of moving pieces. There's possibly some hands that I maybe should have kept that I didn't. Just from a percentage standpoint, I was being a little bit aggressive when I was looking for in certain matchups. Maybe I'm supposed to be a little bit more conservative because this is very much a resource deck. But a lot of those hands, just aren't functional in certain ways. So the deck, when it does its thing, is absurdly powerful, as most Legacy things tend to be. There might be some shell here that is a little less, like, all in on, like, Aeons and Narset. But I think for someone like Foz, who donated for this deck, who likes Prison Element decks, this deck does have the Chalice Element, does have the Echo of Aeons, Narset, Prison Element. And Karn, obviously, has some very powerful tools in the sideboard. Not in this league, but the match we play with Enchantress, or the matches we play with Enchantress, we ran into this deck and got like turn 2 Karn, turn 3 Mycosynth Elias. It's capable of some incredibly powerful things. And I don't know. Really kind of hard to say where it is in the modern landscape. Whoever brewed up this deck is just some mad genius, but deck is very powerful when you can understand how it wins games. So that's about all I have for the deck. Thanks to Foz for the donation deck list, and it certainly was fun to play. So anyways, this has been John for MTG Nexus.